run a marathon,
4-star reviews. I get
on
a
the
reviews.
Woodway.
They basically
It's like
just
running
keep
outside
swapping the
of the
specific
kind
town
of-
out. So you go down the reviews, it's like, these pillows are fantastic.
You can at least feel
Right?
like it counts.
Apparently.
That's awesome. I'm in the wrong
Have you
industry.
done that race before?
Yeah, Jasper's a
Oh, you
good
so you
dude.
know too. Yeah, it's in Midtown.
Apparently I gotta leave. I gotta go not be an asshole to
Yeah,
people.
right down the road.
I know, there's a record store there, chicken and pickle.
Even when you come in, have a free smoothie, and there's a free day pass. You can take a class. I'm at one Pepsi. I had a chance to do it. I just missed out the last minute after I got the
We usually go. The last time I did it was probably because it was the same day as the 8 years ago. I'm not a huge runner. I mountain bike and road bike, and some friends just talked me into it.
Yeah, it's kind of it's turned into a fun thing.
You can, and we had a blast. We had stupid, silly costumes,
And silly name dropping.
music, and
Yeah, they
beer in our van.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is the British too, so have to support it all the way through.
Totally.
But it was cold. It was definitely in the mid-20s the year I did it.
I worked at it 2 or 3 years ago and it rained really hard at first. But then once everybody got to Lawrence, it got nice. Yeah, and one year it was really dry out. These people were passing out because
They
weren't ready for it. They weren't hydrated. Real dry. Hot, dry sun.
Hey, good morning. Trying to get to know each other more. I just came to invite y'all. Yep.
Oh, thanks.
You're so welcome. Sorry, is that a bit low? Okay, they are going to the yeah. You're all here. Yes, I found it. It was kind of hectic.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. I'm Joseph. We have Kyle, Patricia, Caitlin, Matt, Chris, Ryan. Abby's not here today. Oh, and Billy. We're your organizers for 1 Million Cups, and we're just here to make sure that everything happens, everything runs smoothly, and sometimes you have to deal with traffic and wrecks and everything. So we start a little late sometimes, but usually we try to start right at 9 o'clock. Is this anyone's first time here? Hey, Hey, and I see. Can we get a special welcome to our young ladies from St. Teresa's Academy? For everyone who it's their first time here, we have two presenters who are going to present a little bit about their business, and we have some expert panelists who will ask them some questions, and then we'll open up the floor for you as audience members to ask questions to our business owners today. And if you do have the 1 Million Cups app, we would like you to go in and check in for today. And if you don't, you can go to your local friendly neighborhood app store and download the 1 Million Cups app so that we can get attendance records and also that you can give feedback to the presenters today. And that's really important for them because they get really useful tips on their presentation and maybe even business tips. So we're going to start today. Oh, sorry, I forgot to introduce our expert panelist. Quest, would you like to introduce yourself?
I figured out how to unmute it. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Oh man, it's like the first time I've ever gotten a real good morning back. That is awesome. Well, my name is Quest. I'm from Project United Knowledge. We are a local venture builder and startup studio that specializes in helping early stage entrepreneurs that have a bright and creative idea in the education, financial world, agriculture, finances, ed tech, healthcare, and the beauty industry. And then we help you rapidly validate your business, validate your customer, release it, launch it to market, and then we help you raise money for it. We've helped 45 different businesses, raised north of $2 million, and I am here to ask as many questions to the beautiful people that will be pitching this morning and helping you guys answer questions. Thank you.
Hello family, my name is Patricia McCreary. I am the founder and CEO of Margaret's Place. We are an adult recreation and wellness center in the heart of Kansas City, and we breathe life back into the retired and disabled community. I'm also an expert panelist today, and I'm a 1 Million Cups organizer, and I really love this.
All right, we're going to start off this morning with John for Veterans Without Orders.
Good morning. I was told that there's never been a successful 1 Million Cups stage dive yet. So this will be our first. I'm John Onamaker. I'm the co-founder of an organization called Veterans Without Orders. That's with an O, not a V. VWO, as we call it, is a 100% all-volunteer, veteran-led, nonprofit 501c3 based out of Wichita and the Kansas City area. We basically do international aid projects all over the world. I was told up front that I should kind of explain what my part was or why I helped start VWO. For me, I spent 22 years in the military. The majority of that has been in the humanitarian arm of the military. Being in the humanitarian arm of the military doesn't just get you the luxury to deploy to places like Iraq and Afghanistan. It also deploys you to places that are under severe humanitarian crisis, like Syria, Haiti, Eastern Africa. So you get all these images embedded in your brain of things like sexual assault, mass migration, kids dying from disease, and it kind of sticks with you. So we just decided to do something with it, about it. So if you think of all those issues, mass migration, sexual assault, violence, disease, and you start peeling the onion back on a lot of those problems, and it kind of always goes back to, clicker's not working. Any clicker help? Anyway, I'll continue on. So if you peel the onion back on some of those issues, it always goes back to water. Majority goes back to water. 1.8 billion people don't have access to clean drinking water. 2.5 billion don't have access to sanitation facilities like toilets or hand washing stations. And it's not even just access to facilities, it's also access to some of the information. I remember being in Haiti in an orphanage and the kitchen staff training them on how to properly wash their hands, and the women were crying because nobody ever told them that that's why their kids were getting sick, because they weren't washing their hands properly. I've been up here for about 2 minutes running my mouth, and in that 2 minutes, about 2 kiddos have passed away in Africa of something as simple as diarrhea. And what's even sadder than the fact that they passed away from diarrhea is it's a solvable problem. Slide. No? So let me tell you about us. If you think of a veteran organization within itself, it's pretty unique. Veterans are trained in planning, team building, leadership, working in austere environments. It's pretty unique of having a veteran organization. But we're not just a veteran organization. We're veterans that serve the humanitarian arm of the military, known as civil affairs. Civil affairs falls under special operations, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. Civil affairs is made up of cultural experts, regional experts, linguists, doctors, engineers. It's like this tailored package within the military to help out, to do humanitarian assistance and development. That's what we're trained to do. So that's basically who we are. Have you ever seen on TV with the U.S. military responding to a disaster, like a typhoon or hurricane, or seen them helping provide food for a drought in coordination with USAID? More often than not, what you've seen with civil affairs. If you look up here, let's see if we get the laser. So for example, here's Nikki here. I think she's in Iraq or Kuwait here. Here she is in Haiti or Honduras. So realistically, the only thing that really changes is the fact that we're no longer in uniform. And that's what VWO, the core members are civil affairs. Slide. So we have what we call 4 lines of effort. The first line of effort is obviously providing clean drinking water all over the world. The second one is to provide a platform to allow veterans to continue to serve. The third one is, ever since 2015, we've been doing honor projects. So we memorialize fallen soldiers in our project name. It's kind of a dynamic way to allow them to continue to serve after they pass versus maybe naming a tree or a bridge after somebody. Those projects in their name since 2015 are still continuing on right now today as we talk. The last one I don't want to go over lightly. It's empowering women. In my opinion, it's our most important line of effort. And when I say empowering women, I'm not talking about trying to get women in other countries to be CEOs of companies or get them elected to be mayor. I'm talking about empower them down to the root level, the individual level, the neighborhood level, or village level. And we have integrated this into our mission model. Slide. So we only work with moms. I've been into over 50 countries myself. In every country, moms are pretty much the same. Everybody here has a mom? They're pretty amazing, right? Every country, that's the same. There's no difference. I'd also say in every country, dudes are pretty much the same, but I won't comment on that. So we work with these moms and we equip them, empower them with these handheld or these fist-sized filtration systems that are based on kidney dialysis. They last about 10 years and they provide enough clean drinking water for up to 5 families. They're pretty impressive systems. So if we take, say, 100 into Peru and 3 get stolen and 2 break, our projects are still 95% successful. That's not necessarily the same with building a well or a clinic or something that your $15,000 project could go away. It's pretty unique. We also look at, when we go into a village, we're not necessarily looking at measures of effectiveness and how much clean drinking water we provide that village. We're looking at metrics like, since we went to village A, the cholera clinic closed down. Since we went to village B, school attendance rates went up by 12 to 15%. So that's kind of what we really look at when we go into another country. Slide. So our next mission, we're heading back to Guatemala. We kind of have an enduring mission there. We use Guatemala as kind of our testing ground to make sure our models and that everything works within our system and our projects can be sustainable. We also kind of use it as a training ground before we send out new team leaders to other countries. We're also going to Malawi, I think, this summer, so the team leader that's leading that mission there will go into Guatemala and kind of learn all our practices before they kick out elsewhere. I want to highlight this little symbol on the bottom here, water and wellness. And I want to say when you work with Veterans Without Orders, you're also working with another organization called Team 5 Foundation. As I mentioned, civil affairs falls under special operations. Special forces also falls under special operations. And Team 5 Foundation is made up of former special forces medics that go on all of our missions. And what they do is right next to us, while we're doing water, sanitation, and hygiene training, or WASH training, they're running clinics focused on waterborne illnesses and women's health. So they're a pretty amazing organization itself. So this mission here, like I said, we have an honor project. This one's named after HM2 Carbolito. A member of our board had nominated him. I think he passed away in Afghanistan. Our board member was in Afghanistan with him, I believe. And he's in constant contact with his mom, who's in Guam. And from what I'm told, she's pretty ecstatic that we're doing this mission in her son's name. So that's kind of us in a nutshell. Questions?
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I'm spiritually driven, and I got goosebumps watching your presentation. So thank you for that. And no, okay, you want us to switch seats?
Okay.
So we have a lot of youth in the room today, and I'm really big on youth entrepreneurship. Could you tell us a little bit of the backstory of what made you want to do something like this? I mean, because this is pretty amazing what you're doing. So where did this hunger come from?
I would say I started off in the military and infantry, so it was kind of kicking doors in, that kind of stuff. And then once you go on these humanitarian projects and you kind of see what true, and it's hard to relate in America, because without just trying to explain it, but when you're in other countries, you smell it, see it, taste it, you experience a kid dying from something stupid right in front of you. So you see that. And I've been on a few of them that really never got to me, but I remember being in Mozambique one time and putting glasses on a kid that he was about 9 years old, never seen before, and right there is kind of I got hooked. And I also looked at the talent pool that resides in civil affairs, and it's like there's so much talent here. Nobody's really mobilizing these people after they get out of the military. So I'd say that's why we started it.
Thank you for the story, and thank you for your time and service. So my main question is why water? And what got you involved in wanting to solve the water crisis internationally?
So if you look at root problems, what's the root cause to a lot of issues? And what's tough with water is it's not sexy, it's not instant gratification. You hand a cup of water to somebody, you don't see the effects of it in 1 to 2 years, but the effects are amazing. A lot of organizations do things that relate to people instantaneously, like if you do cleft palate surgeries or save a dog from a homeless or a shelter, that's instantaneous. What we do is really tough, and there's not a lot of people. There are amazing organizations out there addressing it, but it's the root cause to half of our issues. There's one statistic out there that says if you can fix the clean water problem, you empty 50% of all the hospital beds in the world. So just think about that. And for us, I mean, America has a lot of money and funding. It's something that we can't see. So unless the people that I take with us on our missions, they've seen the effects of it. So it's really trying to advocate for a serious issue. And also, my previous assignment in the military, I worked a lot with climate change. And I can assure you that it's only going to get worse.
The follow-up question to that is, you mentioned very little bit about your filter. What kind of filter is it, and how did you find out about this filter and the research that you put into it? And why did you choose this one over others?
So we're not married to the technology, but it's the best out there right now. They're called Sawyer filters. A lot of people have them here for their emergency when the zombie apocalypse comes. You can put them in your go bag, but they're pretty effective. The other big thing about our mission model is the logistics of it. If we raise $1,000 to go to Haiti, or raise $10,000 to go to Haiti, these filters all we take is a couple extra duffel bags. So nothing really changes, so we're able to just keep expanding on our mission impact by adding a couple more additional bags to the airport.
I'm just curious, how long have you been doing this mission?
So it's tough to say, but out of uniform since 2015. In uniform, our team goes back for the last 15, 20, 30 years in the military doing the same type of projects.
Okay, and I'm curious about, because data proves that what you're doing is actually working. How do you guys collect your data, and what have you seen from that data on if what you're doing is actually making a difference? So
with data collection, we do that in Guatemala. We work with a couple organizations, the Pacific Disaster Center and another project called EMPL Project. But it's basically looking at metrics and things. We actually look at data before we go into an area to see what they have. And we look at things like infant mortality rates, nutritional issues, stuff like that, and going into these villages to see if there's an impact. Another piece of our model, in which we've stolen from, I still teach for the United Nations, so I'm around 1 million other NGOs, and I've taken little pieces from each of them of what works effectively. And one thing that works effective is actually going village by village and seeing what you do in that village versus trying to do an entire county or area. It's very, I guess, scalable.
So I have a marketing question for you. Even though you're in a nonprofit world, I imagine you don't have a huge budget for marketing and advertising, and probably the same marketing and advertising techniques that work with some of the nonprofits here when we're going into local communities probably doesn't work internationally as well, or maybe it does. What kind of marketing tactics do you use on the ground, for instance, in Guatemala, or when you're going off to other countries like Mozambique, to be able to go into various villages, communities, resource centers, and then to piggyback off of that question, do you have to do a lot of political work with government agencies as well?
I'll answer your first one, the second part first. So working with other governments, we don't have to necessarily do that. We just have to register for the country, with the country to do aid in that country. Internally, no, we don't. So if you've been in civil affairs, what's interesting about civil affairs is that it's kind of the gateway to the rest of the U.S. military. So if you're an NGO or the UN or NATO and you want to work with the U.S. military, civil affairs is kind of the gateway to that. So what that has done for us is we've built elaborate LinkedIn networks with key people all on the ground. So when we go into another country, more often than not, we're there with friends. So friends kind of tell us where to go, how to get around the corruption rates, and that what's going to be sustainable. So we don't have to do too much marketing. And the other thing is we go in small and we do a few projects. Like we're only taking a few filters when we go to Malawi. But the intent is to word of mouth, to keep building in there, to show that we're not just a fly-by-night NGO, which a lot of organizations are. And we have no issues.
All right, let's go ahead. If you have any questions for the presenter, go ahead and make your way down to the mic. We've got one to begin with.
Hi, great organization. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
All right.
I can't see you because of the light, but I know there's a voice
It's
coming
not
in that
important,
direction.
it's just a voice from the darkness. So can you tell me a little bit, since we're here to talk about entrepreneurship, talk about how you're organized, how you're funded, what your team looks like. By that I mean your management team, how many volunteers you have, and what their typical length of service, and maybe, I know this is a lot, and then corporations that maybe collaborate with you, like, for example, to provide this filter. Do you purchase it, or is it donated? So if you could give us a little bit of an idea about how you do some of those nuts and bolts.
Okay. So our organization is designed, our board is actually established in Wichita, Kansas, and then our members are anywhere from Kansas City all over the world. So our team is everywhere. What's unique is it's all volunteer. We don't have any paid staff right now, so it's that piece is a little bit difficult. For fundraising, I just want to highlight this. Initially when we started, this is kind of a hobby for us. Our team, the caliber of our team is amazing, and we kind of keep it this way to recruit the right people. They use their own vacation time and their own funding to buy their own plane tickets to go to, tough locations in the middle of the jungles of Honduras, instead of maybe going to Cabo with their families. So that speaks volumes to us, is that these people, our team is willing to jump on a plane and go wherever to just help out. A lot of our funding has come from crowdsourcing. This has kind of been mainly a hobby up until like the last year. So now we're starting to do outreach and start trying to do marketing and get our organization up to the next level. We have all the talent that exists on the team, and then our reach back is even better. So no corporations have sponsored us yet. But I will say this, the majority of our team still has above top secret clearances that we retain, so we're semi-trustworthy. So just throwing it out there. Did I get any of those I missed?
How many volunteers?
So we have roughly about 40 volunteers that kind of make up the core membership. I'd say about 10 of us are actively involved every day. But our reach back to the civil affairs community and the whole veteran community is limitless.
Do you pay for those filters, or are they donated?
You want to come to the mic, actually? Yeah.
Oh, I'm just repeating the question.
So yeah, no, we pay for those. So we do get a discount with Sawyer. They're out of Florida. They get them to us. I think about 1/3 of the price. Usually we buy one and get 2 free, or maybe that's mixed up.
Okay, wait, next question over here.
My question is, with the great need that you have, how do you choose your locations?
So I kind of expanded on that a little bit. The first thing we do, being in the military, we want to do a reconnaissance to go and see where the need is actually needed. But the first thing we do is like we were talking, is the data reconnaissance, to look at where is that school attendance rates down and why. And the second thing we do is go into looking at our friends and our LinkedIn networks to make sure that we have somebody on the ground that is sustainable.
Glacier is different or better than those other organizations or groups?
I would say nothing. I would never knock some of the other water organizations out there because they're doing some epic stuff. We actually have a meeting with Water is Life on Friday, who's going to help mentor us on some of the big projects they've done. Water.org is phenomenal, where they've switched over to doing grants and loans versus actual projects. I'd say the only thing that makes us different is our experience level. I'd say most organizations have to train people in order to do international aid. And I would say over half of doing international aid is trying to deal with corruption and understanding, where are you going to be taken for, or where are you going to put this well that you know that some tribal leader is going to just take over, and then you just created a tribal conflict. We've been through all of that stuff, luckily on your tax dollars as military, and we make sure we don't make those same mistakes out of uniform. So I would just say the talent pool behind us makes us different, but there's some great organizations out there, and like I said, being a water organization is tough, so hats off to them.
Thank you. Next question. I just wanted to ask, what is your favorite success story that you've had so far since you've been doing this the last few years? If you could just briefly share.
Yeah, that's a good question. And like I said, we don't get the instant gratification. We'll go into a village or whatever and leave, and we don't see that cleft palate surgery after picture. But I have two. So I got a call a couple weeks ago from my buddy from Dave from Team 5 Foundation, and like I said before, I'll try to say this story without cussing. But Dave calls me up and he's like, "Hey man, I just want to say thank you." And I was like, "What for what?" He told me that he was in a village in the middle of nowhere, either in Honduras or Guatemala, and their team was black on water. Any veterans know what black on water means? Completely out of water. So they're in the middle of nowhere, a remote location, where we both try to go to very remote locations that other NGOs can't get to, out of water. And he said that somebody came in with a really nasty wound, and they didn't have enough water to clean the wound. And he said, lo and behold, he looks behind him, and there's one of the St. Sierra project. And so not only was his team able to get clean water and clean the wound, but it gave us like, oh, we're making a difference. One other quick story is we were in Guatemala a few months ago, and there was a teacher in the crowd of moms that we were training, and she wasn't paying attention. And it was like, why doesn't she care? Why is she not paying attention to our training? And she's like, oh, I did this training a few years ago. And not only did I do it a few years ago, I've implemented it in all my classes, all of your training. She said, not only that, I fill up buckets every day for my filtration system that you gave me a few years ago, and I carried water into the school. So all of those kids not only got our training, but they also have clean water, so those stories are good for us. I will also say through probably cocaine networks, we smuggled a filter into that school, and now she doesn't have to, it was tough getting that filter there, I'm not going to lie, but that school does have a filtration system in its classroom now.
You had mentioned sanitation as being one of your challenges, and I saw a presentation recently from Bill Gates on working with developing a toilet. It's $10,000, it's too high right now, and I was wondering if you're aware of that, and secondly, and this toilet would not require any infrastructure for sewage. The other thing is, do you look for organizations like the Gates Foundation for funding?
We're trying to crack the code on that. We have grant writers right now, but we'd love to work with any foundation, even some of the local ones. I will say in our mission model, we have everything built out and how much funding we get. If we get $100,000 this year, we are looking at taking some toilets into First Guatemala to test out and see how our mission model can adapt to that. But as we go further, we are looking at toilets. When I say water isn't sexy, you can imagine trying to raise money for toilets. But that is in our 2019-2020 mission model, is to start focusing on hand washing stations and toilets. And if anybody else wants to advocate with the Gates Foundation, see me after this.
Okay, final question. What can we as a community do for you?
The thing that would be amazing is I could put up here and say, please donate, but what I'd really like to do is say, hey, this is Kansas City, this is the Kansas and Missouri area, is if you don't know how an NGO or nonprofit works, I don't own it. My board can fire me tomorrow. It's kind of a community thing. A lot of people sit and throw rocks at the government all day, but there's a lot of organizations out there that you can fix problems by starting a nonprofit. But I would like Kansas City to kind of take some pride into this organization. If you have a way to either help fundraise, run events, volunteer, or donate, please do so. There's a lot of people that may work for large organizations and just say, hey, here's a trusted organization. They seem trustworthy. Maybe let's donate and help them out.
All right, now it's time for announcements. First, we're going to start with a video from Startland News.
Welcome to the first SLN recap of 2019. I'm Startland News reporter Austin Barnes. Let's get straight to today's top stories. You've likely seen Jaws, but did you know sharks aren't designed to kill? According to entrepreneurs Shay and Jeff Geist, it's true, they only bite people to see if they're food. Now, the couple's startup Shark Off stands to solve the biting problem once and for all. Emitting 1.4 volts of electricity, Shark Off is a waterproof bracelet that repels sharks when worn by swimmers and surfers. The couple recently launched a Kickstarter campaign to help them bring Shark Off to market. A social enterprise, 10% of all profits go to the Ocean Cleanup, a nonprofit that removes plastic from the garbage patches in the ocean. The couple hopes to one day use the plastic in production of Shark Off products. She's the first person to binge watch a TV show, but she also wants to see the world. Morgan Perry is Startland's first Casey Cultivator of the Year. Read what she has to say about failure of the Northland and Mid-Continent Public Library's approach to entrepreneurship on StartlandNews.com. Over 30 hours of deliberation later, Startland's 2019 Startups to Watch list is here. From kombucha to cybersecurity, this year's list celebrates 12 companies disrupting their industries and further building the startup ecosystem one capital raise at a time. You can celebrate this year's startups alongside Startland. We invite you to join us at the 2019 Startups to Watch celebration on January 31st. You can find out more about Startups to Watch and the Startups to Watch celebration by visiting us at StartlandNews.com.
The next announcement, if you are a developer or need some development help, feel free to meet back in this corner after everything completes today. Next, we've got an announcement from our good friend Quest.
Who in here loves desserts and good food and oh yeah, it loves good. If you missed Taco Tuesday yesterday, I have a bunch of tacos for you. But on a serious note, Amazon Retail and Amazon Corporate and Amazon Web Services has gracefully blessed their presence to come to Kansas City to help local retail stores, e-commerce stores, and anyone that has a tech innovation idea that is focused on a shopping experience or building a better experience, period. Starts at 11 o'clock over here in room 1L and 1M. Anyone doesn't know where that is? Right there in the corner, or Follow the Food. And then also Christina, the a person who works at Peruvian Connection, which is a 45-year-old textiles company in Kansas City, which is very cool to see a company get that far. But let alone, she runs some of the cool analytics, back-end operations, and tech side. So if anyone wants to hear a creative story from Christina, from Peruvian Connection during a lunch and learn, please join us, and we look forward to seeing you. Thanks.
Thank you, Quest. Next, we have the Mug Club. If you have been here more than 10 times to 1 million cups, please stand up. Don't be shy. Okay. Now, if you have received a mug, go ahead and please sit down. And over here. And please tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your business.
This thing on?
Hey, I'm Carrie Phillips, and I am the bra lady. And what I love about 1 Million Cups is the imagination that you get to see when you come every week. So we'll see you next week.
All right, now for our next presentation, please welcome our friends from Proven Repellant.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
I am Carolyn. This is my sister Emily, and we run Proven, which is an insect repellent company, along with our dad Bob, who's in the audience, our other sister Libby, and Wilma, who is not blood related but feels like family at this point. So we started Proven in 2017 and brought our first product to market in May of 2018. Here is a video that gives you a quick intro to our story, and then we'll fill you in with more details. Okay. So it's interesting listening to John's presentation because he's fixing the water problem, and we're focused on mosquitoes, which many of you probably have not heard that a mosquito is actually the most deadly creature on the planet, killing over 700,000 people a year from spreading diseases like Zika, West Nile, malaria, dengue fever, and many other scary diseases.
I think we're having another clicker issue, so looking for the signal to play.
So anyway, if John can solve the water problem, we'll work on solving the insect problem. We as a family have about 10 years in the insect repellent industry, and we had brought a natural insect repellent wristband to market and have distributed that for about 10 years. And so we saw a couple of, so we're leveraging that experience to transform into a new company called Proven. As you saw from the video, these are sprays and lotions that are non-toxic, DEET-free, but highly effective. And so the problem in the market right now has been, well first I'll get to, we have the mosquitoes causing a lot of deaths a year by spreading some deadly diseases. There's also ticks that spread Lyme's disease and other debilitating things. Even if they're not causing death, these can be very life-threatening or life-altering diseases that you can contract just from trying to enjoy the outdoors. We've also seen a significant rise in these illnesses, mostly due to warmer weather, climate change, hurricanes, which provide great breeding ground for mosquitoes, and then also just spread faster by globalization, commerce, and world travel, so everything's spread. Right, next slide. So, as you may have seen from the video, currently when you go to the drugstore to buy some insect repellent, you're faced with the option of a DEET-based product, which you might recognize as Off or Cutter, or a natural insect repellent, which might be citronella oil, is one of the more common ones. There's eucalyptus, oil of eucalyptus. And these are wonderful and these are safe to put on your body, but they're not always effective at repelling the scary diseases like Zika, Lyme's, dengue fever. So, sorry, let's go back one slide, please. Okay, so many of you may not be aware that there are some issues with DEET. So DEET is a neurotoxin. It's not very safe to put on your children, so if you put it on your children, you need to wash it off shortly after they come inside. There's studies that show that DEET can cause rashes, illnesses. It's even been associated with seizures. And being in this business, we're starting to hear stories that people have had DEET poisoning and other issues. And toxins are really becoming more conscious with the consumer who doesn't want to put, terrible things on their children's bodies or their own bodies. And so that's one of our key issues that we were trying to solve with Proven. There's also some European governments that are starting to ban DEET because of these health concerns. And usually the European governments are a little more progressive than the US in banning different ingredients. Okay, so the problem in our market is that we have rising illnesses and issues with mosquito and tick-borne illnesses. And then we also have sort of unappealing options in the market for protection.
So in comes the solution. We thought, why not have it all? A non-toxic, DEET-free insect repellent that's 99.9% effective at repelling mosquitoes, ticks, flies, chiggers, no-see-ums for 12 to 14 hours. So that was what we were after, something that was health-minded but also really effective. So we discovered this ingredient called picaridin. And picaridin has been in the market around for about 10 years. It was developed by Bayer. So it's an active, or it's a patented active ingredient that we're utilizing in our formula. It's an odorless, colorless ingredient modeled after the black pepper plant. So it has a lot of natural biology behind it, but it is a manufactured ingredient. So at 20% concentration, it's proven to be more effective, 4 times longer lasting than DEET, and repels more bugs effectively. And it's non-toxic. So it's a safe, very effective alternative to the main ingredient in the market, which is DEET. So we can, the ingredient picaridin can be applied, we have a spray and a lotion, and those are our 2 main products, and from that we have, picaridin is an odorless ingredient, so we have an odorless series and a gentle scent, so it's kind of an essential oil-based scent for just to have as an option. But it's, DEET-free, non-toxic. The products are approved by the EPA, which is a really lengthy, time-consuming process, and you have to have all your studies really concrete. So everything we claim on our packaging is true. It's been studied and is proven. It's people and planet friendly, so it's non-toxic to fish and wildlife, non-toxic to pets, has low skin absorption and low acute toxicity. And then, it's longer lasting, up to 12 to 14 hours with the lotion. And we're made here in the USA, so that has a lot of, we have a lot of visibility with our factories, and they're produced by EPA-approved factories, so there's a lot of comfort there. Next slide.
Okay, so our customers, we break into 2 market segments. First, we have the conscious consumer. So this would, and we can flip to the next slide, please. So these are moms. As John mentioned, the moms are very concerned about what they put on their kids. They're trying to do the best they can to protect their children. Not only do they want to protect from diseases, but they also want to make sure they're putting something that's safe on their children's bodies, which absorb toxins much faster than adult skin does. We're also focused on health-conscious, green buyers, so people who are either concerned about contracting one of these diseases or also concerned about what they're putting on their bodies, concerned about their impact on the earth, and also quality-conscious buyers, so these are people who want to make sure they're buying the best products in the market. And then also pet owners. This is actually a huge market for us, or a potential market. Dog walkers, but then also people who are worried about their pets being irritated by bugs. Our second target group, and we'll flip to the next, please, is the outdoor enthusiasts. So this would be maybe more what you would have guessed. People who love to be outdoors. Either they love to do outdoor recreation as a family. They might do outdoor sports, hunting, fishing. Because we have an odorless spray, these are very attractive to hunters who are trying to mask their smells, or fishermen. and it's also safe if it were to get into the streams and water. Seem to have lost our. There we go. Okay, and then also travel. So our product comes in a travel size. So if you're going into the jungles or just on a quick trip, you can take a small size.
Yep. Okay. Well, the competitive landscape is what we're going to talk about next. So we basically separated it into long-lasting products, which are mostly deep-based, and the health-conscious all-naturals. So our thought process when creating this was people love all-naturals when they work, but if they're not going to be as effective, they're still going to use DEET. And right now, DEET is the leading ingredient in most all insect repellents. And the interesting thing is, picaridin has been around for 10 years. It should be much more widely utilized, but the DEET lobby is so huge that it doesn't get a lot of attention. So there are a few brands that have picaridin-based options, but so Sawyer is one of them, and Off has a 5% concentration. But because they also offer DEET in their line of products, they can't really authentically advertise and promote all the benefits of picaridin because it then alienates their DEET line. So there's kind of this disconnect between what's best for the consumer, because this is such an effective health-conscious option. It should be the mainstream alternative to DEET, and it doesn't get a lot of play. So that's where we see a lot of opportunity and avenue to really grow this brand and educate the consumers that there is a better and healthier option that is health-minded. It's not an all-natural, but it still has all the elements that someone would choose for picking an all-natural, and then all the efficacy of the chemicals. I just don't
Next
have
slide,
the touch, I suppose.
I'm gonna jump in. Forgive me, and I know the audience has plenty of questions. It's been a great presentation. Thank you for putting up with our tech glitches. I'm gonna invite you down to the panelists and we'll jump into questions.
Okay.
Thank you for the presentation, and I apologize for all the techie stuff, but it was a great presentation, and I'm one of those moms who doesn't trust any of the bug repellents on the market. So what would you say to me to make me trust your product? Because everyone claims to have this natural product or products that won't hurt the body, but what do you say to that mom, short and sweet, to make her trust you guys?
I'm also a mom of 4 young kids, and since having kids, I've been really concerned about what I'm putting on them. So, cleaning products, but it is hard to trust, and our name is proven because we want to back up every single claim that we make. So we have over 38 efficacy and toxicity tests that show, and so on our website we post all of this that parents can go and read and see all the studies so that they can feel good about what they're putting on. But it's exciting because we're bringing the best of both worlds. We're bringing something that's safe and non-toxic to put on your child, but also that we can say is 99.9% effective for all of the bugs that we've tested for the time limit that we claim.
Awesome. Well, thank you for creating the product. Well, real quick, you touched briefly on the market and the market size and how competitive it was. Could you give us some insight to how you are planning on competing in such a crowded space, especially for shelf space? And then also, could you touch on what's the cost differentiation from your product to that product?
So our biggest challenge right now is to try to educate these buyers. Well, not educate, they know a lot, but to show them that picaridin is this emerging ingredient that really is studied or shown to be more effective than DEET, and that the consumers are looking for health-conscious options. So DEET is definitely while it's ingredient to ingredient, it's not our competitor. It's our biggest challenge because we're trying to break into that category and that shelf space. which really dominates the repellent shelves. And a lot of buyers have a designated health conscious section, but they're mostly the essential oils. And you brought a price, and that's a big factor because DEET is really cheap, which is why it continues to be utilized. And, so picaridin is it's about twice the expense. If you think about it, it lasts 4 times as long as DEET, so a 6-ounce bottle, that's $5 less than our bottle. You're getting 4 times the duration. So it's kind of those challenges because people go to the repellent section and they're just looking at the price thinking they're all going to be the same and are looking for a value, but if you can, so that's the marketing challenge, is to show the consumer why this is such a better option, and it's worth paying a few extra dollars for, non-toxic and really effective. But it's a challenge that we face with the buyers as well because they're looking at their price points on the shelves as well.
Just to piggyback off that question, if you could explain to all of us interested learners, how did you two ladies validate your product and validate that this is something that the market actually wants and that they're willing to pay for it? What was that process like?
Well, we can bring in Wilma on this because when we met Wilma and Eric, they're a Dutch couple, a couple from the Netherlands, but they were living in Florida at the time. We met them and partnered with them to help develop the product. And Wilma had done extensive research on picaridin, and we saw that it was basically studying the growth of the health-minded consumer, that emerging market, and that people are much more aware of what the toxins out there and that they're trying to buy. They're using their dollar to really show that they want healthier options. Some of the main players out there have a picaridin option, but like I said, DEET is their baby. It's what basically, drives all their revenue. It was basically knowing this product existed and all the efficacy behind it. We're trying to take advantage of the fact that there is a huge opportunity for this because the studies show it's more effective than DEET, and people are looking for health-conscious options. So now we're just trying to present this as a viable option to the market.
Thank you very much. And we're going to go ahead and turn over to the audience. Thank you, panelists.
I have a question about the number of deaths worldwide that are caused by mosquitoes. So when I hear that statistic, I'm thinking that those deaths are probably mostly in impoverished communities, but your market is with higher-end consumers who are more health-conscious. So if we're actually looking at solving the problem of mosquito deaths, have you considered how to get your product in the hands of people who are living in lower economic situations?
Yes, absolutely. So that is, we definitely have a social component as part of our business plan. We're 6 months into having our product on the market, so this is something that we'll have to continue to develop the funds to be able to support something like that. But it's definitely part of our greater social mission with our company is to be able to take our product worldwide because it is such a better product. Right now we're focused on the US, and there's a lot of fear around mosquito-borne illnesses. Lyme's disease, Zika is a huge concern for Americans either traveling or in the warmer southern states. So there are some real health concerns here in the US which we would like to address. And then as we grow as a company, we would definitely like to be able to support sending our product to some of these other places that could really use the help. Malaria is the biggest cause of death for mosquitoes.
Thank you for your presentation. I think you mentioned that Bayer develops and owns the active ingredient. Are you able to protect this application of that ingredient?
So the picaridin ingredient is not protected, so that is a risk for us. We have our own formula, so that's unique to Proven. But that is one of our exposures, is that that ingredient is available to other manufacturers.
Hi, so while we were doing sharp research, we discovered something that we didn't know, that DEET products and sunscreens are very bad for marine ecosystems. So something that we faced on a daily basis was either we were going to get eaten by mosquitoes or we weren't getting in the water that day. I just wanted to make sure that you all were perfectly safe from marine ecosystems.
Yes, our product is safe for aquatic life.
And then the follow-up question is, do you have travel sizes?
We do have a travel size. Yes.
Be
So
a customer.
yeah, Emily's got samples over here. So I don't know if we actually brought a travel size, but we do have a 3-ounce travel size.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. And the final question is, what can we as a community do for you?
I think one of our goals this year is to start building a grassroots community. So we have a social media plan that we've been working on with in Instagram, trying to build community for those who really love the outdoors and those who are moms and more health conscious kind of consumers. So if you can, we actually have a coupon code that Emily will share with everyone, but if you want to buy our product on Amazon or on our website and share and put a review of why you like it, share it with your friends, just really trying to educate our communities about why this is a better product, and then...
And not only that, our product is a better product, but picaridin as an ingredient is a better ingredient all around. So just, that's part of our mission too, is being able to educate the public that there's a better option, whether it's our brand or it's Sawyer or, some of the other ones out there. So spreading the word. And picaridin is actually the ingredient that the pharmacies in Brazil were handing out to the pregnant women when the Zika outbreak was at its height, because it was the safest thing for them to put on to protect themselves. So yeah, just grassroots community support really is our... Yeah, our Facebook page and Instagram, I think, are listed on the website. But we would love if you liked and followed our pages, and we've got lots of good things going there through social media. That's one of our strategies right now, obviously, to grow and introduce the product to new people. So through outdoor enthusiasts and moms specifically.
Thank you very much. Join us next week. Of course, we'll have 2 exciting speakers. I do not have the names on my list right now. But please join us with free co-working across the annex all day long. Since you've attended this meeting, we have the free co-working. Thank you very much.
What's up, superstar?